Hello, Wayne Theater friends. My name is Alex Sullivan, and I have been volunteering behind the scenes as a stage manager for many of the musical productions, such as Legally Blonde, Matilda, and Hairspray. Today, I'm going to tell you a little bit about what a stage manager does, at least from my perspective, and what I find really exciting about being a stage manager, and some of the interesting challenges that I have had to face. So first, starting about how I got into it. My daughter, in 2018, she auditioned for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang and was cast actually as an ensemble member. So I started hanging around the theater and just kind of learning about how the musical theater works. And I volunteered to help out here and there wherever I could, and I really enjoyed that a lot. Eventually, I was asked if I'd be willing to be an assistant stage manager during the show. And frankly, I really had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea what a stage manager did. So of course I volunteered. I mean, why wouldn't you? And boy, what a eye-opening experience that was. It was so much fun and an extremely stressful experience at the same time. I have really had no training in stage management, so everything that I have learned is through experience. And I'd have to say that I've had some really good teachers at the Wayne. So let me tell you from my perspective anyway, what I think a stage manager does. And it's really simple actually. A stage manager's job is to make sure that the show runs perfectly. That's it. That's all I have to do is make sure that the show runs perfectly. Before each show, I have to make sure that all of the set pieces are working properly, that they are all pre-staged in their correct locations, that the lighting is working properly, that the microphones and the sound is all working properly, and that the stage is really ready to go. Once the show starts, my job is really to make sure that the show runs smoothly and then solve any problems that happen to come up during a show. And let me tell you, almost every show has some sort of a problem. Let me tell you a couple of stories. In Matilda, there was a school gate that would fly in from above, and it was only in the scene for about 30, maybe 45 seconds, and then it would go back up out of the scene. But when we took it back up, it got hung on the main curtain, but it was already out of the scene and still stuck on the main curtain, and the only way to fix it was to bring it back into the scene, and there was no way we could do that. So we got on the headset, and we started talking back and forth, myself in the control room and Hank, and we talked through a lot of different scenarios about how we're going to solve this problem, because the main curtain had to come in at the end of Act 1, which was going to be maybe 10 minutes is how much time we had to figure this out. We ended up changing the way we ended Act 1. We believe that the audience never noticed anything different than what the main show was supposed to be like. But we were able to get the main gate stuck, or the school gate, sorry, stuck from the main curtain and ready to go for the second act. Another example was in Bridges of Madison County. There was a scene where we had this car and the car was supposed to leave the scene in the middle of it. The actor was supposed to take the car out and had forgotten to do so. So the car was still in the scene. It looked fine. It wasn't a problem. But again, we had to get on the headset and we talked about different ideas about how to get the car out of the scene and make it look like it was part of the show. That's the thing, is we don't want it to be awkward or anything like that. So what we ended up deciding is at the very end of that scene, there was a very short transition. It was not a blackout, but it was a short transition. And we decided that I would go in and take the car and then pull it out, because all the other actors were already in that scene, so there was nobody else that could do it. And again, we did that, and we believe that none of the audience even knew what was going on. So why do I do it? I really enjoy being a part of a team that works together to take ideas and create something wonderful out of those ideas. In my professional job, I'm a mechanical engineer and a project manager, and my job is to take ideas and make wonderful equipment and processes out of those ideas. And I think a lot of times being a stage manager and being a part of a theater production is a lot of the same thing. There have been unique challenges for each of the shows that I've been involved in. For Chitty, it was I really had no idea what I was doing. I mean, I really had no idea what I was doing. I was completely lost and I was terrified. For Hairspray, that was the second show that I did, I started to understand what I was doing. When there was so many people involved in that show, there was so much going on. It was just a lot of fun to coordinate such a big show like that. For Legally Blonde, that show had a lot of very fast set changes that happened within the choreography. So we didn't have a lot of blackouts where we could do the set changes. We had to do them while the performance was going on. And it was a lot of fun to figure out how to choreograph those set changes into the show. And then in Matilda. Matilda was one of my favorite shows because of all the kids that were in the show and watching those kids develop into being such great actors. And the challenges in that show were probably those blocks, those school desks, and getting those on and off the stage quickly and and as smoothly as we really could. So what are my favorite moments of stage managing? Well, there's a few. Number one, I guess, is seeing my daughter on stage for the first time in Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. That was just an amazing, amazing thing, and to be a part of that show with her was wonderful. Another is every show, opening night, when we are down to about 3 minutes to go, all the hard work that we've done for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks finally comes together for a big performance. That is a very, very exciting time. And one last thing, I guess, is the singing that takes place on the side stages. A lot of the background vocals that you hear during a show is live. It's coming from the side stage, and we'll have a microphone set up, and that's right next to my podium where I work from. And when those voices come together and they harmonize, it will just send chills down your spine. It's just beautiful. I love to hear that. So are there any downsides to being a stage manager? Well, of course there is. And probably the biggest downside is that I actually never get to see the show run in production from the audience's perspective anyway. I see it from the side, but I never do get to see it live from the audience's perspective. And I really miss having those opportunities, but I think being part of the show and seeing it develop and then bringing that show to the audience is something that makes it worthwhile. Well, I want to thank Tracy and Hank and all of the Wayne Theater staff for all the hard work that they do, bringing wonderful entertainment to the Shenandoah Valley. It has been my pleasure working with these musical productions, and I am looking forward to when we can build the next show for audiences, hopefully in the near future. And thank you all for watching tonight. I hope you consider coming back to the theater as soon as it is opened back up. And I know that we're going to be putting on some wonderful musical productions and other shows that will be held at the Wayne Theater as soon as we can. Thank you.